Cyan Martinez brings this match and this semi-final to a close. The Vancouver Whitecaps, the juggernauts of Major League Soccer, will be the representative of Major League Soccer in the final.
Vancouver Whitecaps,
Cup final, let's do it.
Guess we're here to talk about a Canadian team in the Champions Cup final.
if someone asked me to sum them up, they're the real deal. It's their best chance at it, baby.
Vancouver Whitecaps will see you in the final. They will play for continental supremacy.
They can absolutely be Concacaf Champions Cup winners.
At the Monsters Cave in Costa Rica, the three-time defending Canadian champions open up their 2025 campaign up against a Saprissa side who are titans of Costa Rican football and a consistent powerhouse in Central America. Immediately the ball's played in, the Whitecaps fall asleep for a moment, and the shot, the goal, 30 seconds from full time, Saprissa with the last gasp marker.
The way that the game ended up in Costa Rica was so disappointing. You were just wondering if this Vancouver Whitecaps team, with a brand new manager, bringing some new players into the team, whether they were ready for this competition or not.
For the first time under Jesper Sorensen, the Southsiders and the thousands of other Vancouver Whitecaps supporters will pile into BC Place, hoping to advance to the round of 16 in the 2025 Concacaf Champions Cup.
Take a shot on goal, good ball in.
Nelson on a platter! Brian White answers immediately for Vancouver Whitecaps!
When you've got a player like Brian White scoring goals in the manner that he was doing already in the league, it accelerated their progress in this competition. So when they tied it up on aggregate, we always knew he was going to be the one who would be the hero.
Sebastian Berhalter, great stop. Alvarado, but not cleared. Brian White makes it to a second half brace. And Vancouver Whitecaps are another step closer to Monterrey.
All the talk heading into that tie was about Monterrey. They had just signed Sergio Ramos to an extraordinary deal.
Sergio Ramos, the former Real Madrid center back, set to join Rayados de Monterrey on a one-year, €4 million deal.
And it wasn't just a matter of playing against a very good team, but you're this larger-than-life figure who's won just about everything in the football world, taking a lot of the oxygen in the room.
In Torreon, Mexico, Vancouver Whitecaps, the road warriors of Canadian soccer, have headed south to the Mexican desert, and they will be up against a World Cup champion, Sergio Ramos, the Spaniard who leads Los Albiazul out onto the pitch and will be getting his first taste of CONCACAF Champions Cup play. Vite trying the back heel, it's turned over, and then a perfect back heel executed as the left-footed cross comes in. No one to close down! And Sergio Canales, the match just 190 seconds old!
After the Whitecaps conceded that first goal, you thought to yourself for a moment, oh no.
I'm thinking maybe this is too much of a feat. They had a decent run. You're looking at Vancouver Whitecaps and you're saying, okay, this is something to build off for next year.
In Mexico, down a goal, down on aggregate, we all know how the story should end. Except the Whitecaps flipped the script.
It's Ahmed again as he drives towards the middle. Vite. Ocampo! Into the exact same corner as Sergio Canales!
This was really the Idiot Ocampo show. This was the coming out party.
And now Brian White's music plays. He'll replace Daniel Rios up top. Really nice sliding tackle by Cubas. Not cleared. Here's Brian White on the spot and delivers once again. Complete and utter calamity from Monterrey defensively.
I just thought that this was a coming-of-age performance where you really saw the maturity of this group.
I was wrong. They pulled it off. They rallied together. And this is why, for me, this Whitecaps team is so likable.
And I don't think it just surprised us as Canadian onlookers. I think that this was the moment where people around Concacaf started to take notice about the Vancouver Whitecaps and how they were a legitimate contender in this competition.
2,243 meters high above sea level in the Valle de Mexico. This is the Universitario Olímpico.
After doing it once, many people thought the Whitecaps would not be able to do it again. In fact, only Toronto FC in Canadian soccer history has knocked out 2 Mexican teams in this competition in the same year.
Duarte once more. A control touch and the service. The follow though. Ignacio Pucetto breaks Vancouver Whitecaps' hearts.
Playing true heavyweights in CONCACAF means you've got to be willing to be punched in the face. Pucetto's 88th minute winner, or so they thought, looked exactly that, a knockout punch. But the Whitecaps had other ideas.
Looked like it was done and dusted. Pucetto scores, heartbreak for the Whitecaps. You just thought, wow, this is where this run comes to an end. And then all of a sudden, the soccer gods smiled down on the Vancouver Whitecaps.
5 minutes initially, or at the very least, I should say. Veselinovic. Header from White, collected by Ocampo, kept in play, and smashed in! Can you believe Tristan Blackman with one of the biggest goals in club history for Vancouver Whitecaps?
Blackman's goal was one of the biggest goals in the history of the Vancouver Whitecaps. Not only did it send them through, it was so dramatic because of the away goal rule that the moment the ball hit the back of the net, they went from being out to being in and through to the semifinals with Inter Miami up next.
BC Place will be taken over by around 53,000 fans this evening, elated to learn soccer superstar Lionel Messi is in Vancouver.
Don't look now, but here comes Messi, Suarez, Jordi Alba, Busquets.
It's the circus rolling into town, but it was the Vancouver Whitecaps who were the ones that put on a show.
This is lovely play from the Whitecaps. Brian White leaps up, heads it in, and the hosts take the lead.
They never fear.
In a match that features Lionel Messi, it's Vancouver's elite talisman, Brian White.
Messi was nullified. He was frustrated going after Cubas. Suarez was a complete non-factor, and it was the Whitecaps who controlled the tempo.
You could sense it was a Vancouver crowd. They were there to support the Whitecaps, and nobody really wanted Messi to win that game.
And no, back for Sabi. Nelson's there as well. Jaden Nelson slips it in. Sabi, the loose ball. Sebastian Berhalter.
You felt good about where they stood. You know it wasn't going to be easy going back to Miami for the second leg, but you felt like mission accomplished or job done for that night, and that the Vancouver Whitecaps were on to something very special.
At Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the stakes could not be higher for the Vancouver Whitecaps. A Concacaf Champions Cup semifinals in a match that they enter leading by 2-0. They are 90 minutes away from a final, a continental final. No one gave this Whitecaps team a shot outside of the city of Vancouver to reach that match, and they can do it tonight. Messi, it's an excellent ball between the lines. Low driving shot that goes off Takaoka and in.
Once Alba's goal went in, many people thought that the onslaught would follow, but the Whitecaps stuck to their identity and never lost belief. And in the second half, we all know what happened.
Slipped in, Berhalter into the box, Sebastian Berhalter, Brian White inside the post, and Vancouver get the critical away goal! Ali Ahmed around Falcon, Berhalter, nice vision, finds Vite, the Whitecaps, they have another! Look at the interchange, Rios has it blocked, Berhalter, why not? The Vancouver Whitecaps will see you in the final. They will play for continental supremacy.
I'll always remember this run for Vancouver Whitecaps because it means more than football to me. It's about a unit who got together quickly, and that belief in the dressing room and that squad, it's undeniable.
This wasn't the script that Concacaf or the soccer world thought would be written. The Vancouver Whitecaps dispatching Lionel Messi and company with relative ease. It was just an incredible night. All bets are off. They're going to a Concacaf Champions Cup final, the biggest game in club history. And they decide no matter what is thrown their way or who may be on the field, they're gonna have belief that their team can do it. I think that there's collective belief now that they are the best side in CONCACAF and is their title to go out and get.